As I sat quietly in prayer in my favorite rocking chair, sipping my tea, I could literally see a mocking spirit sitting on top of it all. As I began to think about that mocking spirit, I thought about the scripture in Mark that says, have faith in God and say to the mountain. It doesn't say pray to God, it says speak to the mountain. Do you have mountains in your life? Things you don't understand, things that seem immovable. The word says speak to that mountain. Luke says, men always ought to pray and not lose heart. But some of you have waited long for some things. Some of you have things in your life that have occurred that don't make any sense. Some of you sitting here today are brokenhearted, disappointed. You're here because you need a word from the Lord. You're here because you love the Lord. You've been faithful. Sometimes you think, what happened? Sometimes it turns inward and you think, I blew it. I messed up. Somehow I've done something, I'm not sure what it is, but my life is just so messed up. Maybe I'm never going to get there. Yeah, that would be the mocking spirit. Began to think about Jesus in the wilderness. That mocking spirit came to him there. And in essence said, if you are who you say you are, turn this stone into bread. Jesus wasn't moved. Again he came, Satan, the mocker, that mocking spirit, came to Jesus again in the wilderness and said, if you are who you really say you are, cast yourself off the temple. Jesus wasn't moved by it. He was a man on a mission. And he would not be moved by the mocking voice of the enemy. And then you turn over to Matthew 27, and Jesus is now on the cross. And the mocking spirit comes again. Over the cross, they had, this is Jesus, King of the Jews. And there he hangs, dying for all mankind. And they're mocking him. Here comes the mocking tone. You who destroy the temple and build it in 3 days, save yourself. If you are the Son of God, come down off the cross. Likewise, the chief priests, and I wrote in the margin of my Bible, the chief rabbis, because last year at the Knesset conference, first ever, speaking Judeo-Christian beliefs into the issues that face women around the world. Isn't it interesting that the first time, well, in many a year, that the rabbis and the chief rabbis of all the cities gathered together and told the Jews, you can't go to that conference. We had Orthodox Jews serving on the board. So, chief rabbis, chief priests, mocking with the scribes and the elders, and said, he saved himself. Himself He saved others. Himself he cannot save. If he is the King of Israel, let him come down now from the cross, and then we'll believe him. No, they wouldn't. Their hearts were stone. Their hearts were closed. He'd walked before them for 3 years, showing them heaven, showing them the kingdom, showing them the Father. He said, I do nothing but what I see the Father do. Now that they've beaten him and scourged him, and put a crown of thorns on his head, and nailed him to a cross, they're saying, okay, we give. If you will prove to us, you come off the cross, then we'll believe you. No, they wouldn't. You see, he had to go through what he was going to go through in order to transform all of our hearts, to make them hearts of flesh, to make them alive to the Spirit of God, to give him entry into our hearts and our lives. He came to make all things new. It says here he trusted in God. Let him deliver him now, if he will have him, for he said, I'm the Son of God. It was the 9th hour, and he's hanging on the cross. He begins to cry out to the Father, Father! Father! Why have you forsaken me? At the darkest hour of his life, perhaps at the darkest hour of your life, pain in your life, pain in your family, things that so twist and turn your heart inside out. And you want to cry out with your whole being, God, where are you? I wonder if in that moment Jesus thought, this is way more than I thought it was going to be. But as they were mocking him and saying, come on, save yourself, get off the cross, then we'll believe you, he willingly gave up his life. He went down into death, and he came up out of the grave victorious for you and me.